Happy Friday, everybody. This is Mr. Fetch. I'm going to do the read aloud for today, and I'm going to read from 86 to basically 96 and finish Joanna. Remember, this is where the Orphan Train PDF is on January 28th. Clicking into it, obviously it's going to load up for you. And then if you're home virtually, you can just scroll to where you need to scroll to, which today is going to be page 86. And then we're going to start reading from there. We left Joanna off as she just arrived at the house of the person who adopted her, named Henry, who was kind of a rude and not connecting individual. And it appears that he just simply got Joanna to take care of the indoor responsibilities because he's a little overwhelmed being a single dad of 3 children. And Joanna's first introduction to Janie, the daughter in the household, was a little tough. Janie was not really accepting of her because Joanna really didn't look like she, as Janie said, was taking care of herself very well. So that's where we started. They just came in, and we are now at chapter 6. And it starts like this. Joanna lay on the floor covered by a thin blanket next to Johnny's cradle. Every muscle she had ached. It had been a month since Henry had first brought her here. She had quit calling it home. That first night she had hauled bucket after bucket of water and set the dishes and dirty clothes to soaking. She swept the floors, shook off the rugs. She choked down a pitiful meal of overcooked bean stew and burnt cornbread. Then she had collapsed onto the floor and fell fast asleep. Unfortunately, baby Johnny woke up a few hours later, and Henry quickly informed her that taking care of him in the middle of the night was also part of her job. The following days were much the same. Wash, haul wood, sweep, make a fire, scrub, feed Johnny, and wash some more. If she had enough energy to shed tears, she would. But between working hard during the day and getting up with baby Johnny in the night, she was exhausted. At this point, jail wasn't looking like such a bad option. At least there, the food was passable. She wondered, would Mr. Swan really come back and check on her? Henry didn't want another daughter. He just wanted a servant, Joanna grumbled. Janie said he wasn't always like this, you know. Janie spoke up, causing Joanna to jump and drop a dish into the sudsy water. Oh, Janie, you scared me. I didn't know anyone else was inside. Besides Johnny, I mean. Well, I am, and I want you to know he wasn't always like this, only since my mama died. Oh, I'm sorry, Joanna said sincerely. I had wondered about her, but was afraid to ask. She died when Johnny was born, Janie explained as she picked up a towel and offered to dry the dishes. Before that, he was wonderful. He was calm, he was strong, and then after, he was just broken. Things got pretty out of hand, as you can see. Taking care of 3 kids and running a farm's a lot to do. Me and Jeremy, we try to help, but we're just still kids. I saw the flyer for the orphan trains at church. I'm the one that made him go and get you. Joanna listened patiently without interrupting. She was thankful to have some help and some family history. When he came back that first night, and I first laid eyes on your rumpled clothes and your messy hair, I was upset. I didn't see how you were going to help fix our situation. And then he worked you so hard, and Johnny cried so much, and Jeremy and I just ignored you. I was sure you were going to run away, but you didn't. You're still here, said Janie. I am, said Joanna. Though some days I'm not sure why. Well, I'd like you to stay, Janie said softly. Joanna looked at her surprised. You might not see it, but it's been better since you've been here. And I've always wanted a sister. Together we can do this. We can put our family back together. Joanna smiled for the first time since arriving in Iowa. She nodded once, afraid that if she spoke, she would cry. Together the girls finished the dishes, and then Janie helped Joanna wash and braid her hair, the way Janie's mama had taught her. It had grown out quite a bit since she first arrived, and it was pulled neatly back as Janie expertly worked it into a braid. Janie even dug out one of her mama's aprons for Joanna to wear while they started preparing dinner. When Henry and Jeremy came in from the barn that evening, they were greeted by the delicious smell of cooking dinner. Henry stopped short in the dry doorway to take in the scene. Johnny was playing happily on the floor. The house was clean, and the 2 girls were chatting as they set the table for dinner. Joanna was clean, and her hair, her face, and she was wearing wife's apron. Without saying a word, he turned and stomped the way he had come